Hey,
Hey, Gary.
hey,
everybody.
David. They're letting us do this again.
I know they let us back. Either we did something right or there's nothing else going on.
Well, we know there's nothing shaking on Shakedown Street, but here on Shakedown Stream,
Very
ready.
true. That was cool. We just heard a big chunk of 10, mostly 10, 17, 74. One of these famous October 74 shows we'll get to in a little bit, part of the Grateful Dead movie.
I've got my nice lightning bolt mug here with some nice hot tea.
I've got nothing.
All the cut you've got plenty. You got.
I'm all right.
You're doing all right. So we are here to do this again. Wilco, my other favorite band in the world. I've got my Fame Studios Muscle Shoals, Alabama shirt. It's a little shout out, a little way of sending love to Donna Jean Godja. Alabama native, got her start in music as a teenager, singing on some great soul records, Fame Studios, before she headed for California and got herself in a whole bunch of wonderful trouble. As the only female member ever of the Grateful Dead. And you will be seeing her in the Grateful Dead movie in just a few minutes.
Yep.
Looking and sounding great, as she does to this very day. So this is in part just a way of keeping the community together while we got nothing better to do, nowhere else to go. And it worked like a charm last week. We not only had a wonderful reaction to this, people really happy to be seeing the Trucking Up to Buffalo video, but also we served a very good cause. We raised more than $20,000 thanks to the ever amazing generosity of Deadheads for the Music Cares organization, who have a special fund set up for musicians who are facing horrible burdens either with their health or their finances due to the COVID-19 crisis. So thanks to all of you who donated last week. And we have another charity that we're benefiting this week and someone who is very much involved in that. So I think maybe we just ought to bring them right in.
This is for me, just being on the same screen as him is a huge honor. So yeah, this is very exciting. So let's, without further ado, bring on our good friend, Bill Walton.
No. You can never tell. They tell me this town ain't got no heart. I know better. I'm Bill, calling in from San Diego today. We are the Shakedown Stream. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. Here we go. I am fired up for this show tonight. The Grateful Dead movie in the 70s. Wow, that animation, that had to have won every award ever issued.
Should have. Maybe
that captured that animation at the beginning, that captured the totality of life, which has now evolved more and developed into what we have today, which is the Shakedown Stream. You're Gary, you're Dave, and I'm Bill. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. We will get by. We will survive. We are alive.
Bill, this is a real pleasure. Thanks for taking time. We know you're busy. You've got some things coming up next week.
I'm never busy for this community. This is my community. This is my world. This is what I live for. We're going here.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Bill.
And the movie starts at the bottom of the hour. So let's rock.
That's right. I want people to notice, we've had our dancing bears on the screen doing the social distancing thing. We've got a special new added social distancing. In honor of Bill, the bears are 6 feet, 11 inches apart.
Which was the last time I was measured. That was my height. I was 19 years old. John Wooden looked at me. He was measuring everybody in the UCLA locker room in early 1970s. And he says, Walton, you're 6'11", go sit down. And it's been that way ever since. It's the perfect height, the perfect size, unless you're standing behind me at a show.
Yes, but you are very, very courteous about letting the vertically challenged, which is everybody compared to you at a show, slip in front of you. You're very sensitive to that, Bill. I've noticed that at many a show.
Well, I have to be very careful because sometimes people hit my elbow with their head. And
right.
So it's not very nice, but I try my best. But I like to move. I like to dance. No, 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 you can never tell. We will get by. We will survive. Let's go. Dave, Gary, Bill, Shakedown Stream. Boom. Bill, O'Teal, let it fly. Boom. Yeah, we are on tonight.
All right. Well,
This is our way. You know, the one thing that we are all missing, I mean, we're missing a lot of things, but we're all missing collectively live music. And we can't get out to see it. So this is what we're going to be doing every Friday at 5 o'clock West Coast time for...
Can I come back? Or is this a only time for me?
No. Oh, gosh, Gary.
Bill, people are going to love you so much, we'll be asking if we can come back.
Look, the Grateful Dead, they wrote a song about me. And the verse was, wherever he goes, the people all complain.
No, no, no.
No, no, no. You can never tell.
But listen, Bill,
A lot
before
of things going on. I want to congratulate the entire Grateful Dead community last week. Music Cares. What a fantastic cause and the support of people in need. And I bring today Bike for Humanity, which is something that we have come up with here. Bike for Humanity is a grassroots campaign using the value and the power of sport to make things better for people who have been devastated by the COVID-19 virus, which has become the single greatest, most awesomely bad opponent and adversity and challenge in my life. And so being a part of a community of action, we are not people that sit around. We go out and we get things done. So when this was all coming down, we said we have to do something. And so we started Bike for Humanity, which has a 4-pronged message, one of hope, one of health, one of community, and then one of service in need of those, service in support of people in need. And so we have a fantastic website, bikeforhumanity.com. And tonight we are focusing on feeding people. So the charity that we have identified for tonight's Biking for Humanity effort and cause is Feeding America. Because if you look at me, you can tell that I love to eat. I tried not eating for a while. It didn't go real well. And I've never met anybody who really got used to being hungry. And so with so much of the world economy, everything just evaporating out there, we have to come together as a community because that's what makes us so strong. The strength of us is who we are, what we stand for, what we're doing, and where we're going. And so here on Shakedown Stream tonight, we're going to be raising money for Feeding America through Bike for Humanity. Feeding America, they have their website, we have ours. It's all the same. We're all in this together. It all rolls into one. And this is about the ability of us, the people who are not just totally out of it, because I'm healthy as can be right now. You may have trouble realizing that I'm fired up and ready to go, but this is a situation where I have been before. Nothing as globally demoralizing and all-encompassing as COVID-19, but this is the 21st time in my life that I've had to start over completely from everything, because my life is all about airports, hotels, big arenas, big stadiums, concerts, business, games, and that's all gone. ESPN, Pac-12 network, you name it. I mean, everything is gone. But I'm still healthy as can be. And so I have a responsibility, a duty, and obligation with the privilege that I have of my own health, which I work on constantly, here in the gym, in the kitchen with my nutrition, my hydration, and my hygiene, in the pool, and then on my bike. And so what Biking for Humanity is all about is a virtual event on Saturday, April 25th, a week from tomorrow, but it's an ongoing thing. So don't worry about any of that stuff. It's free to sign up. It's even more free to participate. The only thing we ask is at the end of the day, just like tonight, there's going to be an icon on the screen all night long for Feeding America. And think of all the people in all of our lives who have been kind and who have been courteous and who have been gentle and warming and have provided outreach and support for those of us when we're in need. And I can think of all the people at the concerts so many times who would see me come and say, oh yeah, Bill, come on. Yeah, great to see you, Bill. Just don't stop here, Bill. Just keep moving. And so, but with that charity and with the kindness that is all about the Grateful Dead from the very beginning. You know, their sense of morality, their sense of ethics, which has inspired us to become who we are, to say at the end of the show, because when I first went to my first Grateful Dead show when I was 15 years old, 53 years ago, 1967, I had no idea what I was getting into because I had only heard on the radio. And it sounded fantastic on the radio, but I had no idea what the community was all about. And when I got there and I got to the front of the stage, I looked around and I just saw all this joy, all this happiness, all this hope, all this optimism. And I said to myself, this is for me. More importantly, this is me. And then the show started and it was fantastic, incredible, just blew us all away. And as the band left the stage, I looked up there and people were coming up and, Bill, what's going on? And I said, shh, I'm with those guys. I'm going with them. And that was 53 years ago. And the dream is alive. The dream still comes true. Shakedown Stream, Bike for Humanity, Feeding America, Gary, Dave, this is what I live for. This is a dream manifesting itself through the universe, through the heavens, with social distancing of 6 feet 11 inches and the dancing bears on either arm. The teeter-totter of life. Here we go.
Amazing. So somewhere on your YouTube screen, there's a blue button somewhere, and that's your donate button. So just look around your YouTube screen, and what Bill's talking about, Feed America, there'll be a button. You gave so generously last week, and we know it's tough times. We do. But anything you can spare to help this out, it means a lot to Bill. It means a lot to all of us. That blue button somewhere. And Bill, I got a question quickly. Where'd you get that shirt?
We made these shirts up special. And anybody who signs up and makes us a minimum donation, we're sending you shirts, we're sending you medals. There's all kinds of prizes. There are tons of prizes from the minimum to all the way to the top. And at the top, Dave, see, I'm a bike rider. That's what I can do. I can no longer walk. I walk for function, and I save my precious few steps for getting to and from the shows, and then try to get in the pit and dance the night away. I'm a really good dancer. Just don't tell anybody. And so, but I can ride my bike. And so what the top prize is that the person or the people who donate a bunch to Bike for Humanity, Feeding America, that they get an all-expense paid trip to San Diego, where I live, where we are, and we're going to go on a bike ride together. Now, this is going to be after all the restrictions have been lifted, because everything we're doing with Bike for Humanity, everything we're doing here with Shakedown Stream, this is all under the guidance and the compliance rules of the CDC, because you have to follow the rules. We have learned in the course of our lifetime with the Grateful Dead that the only true freedom is 100% compliance with the law. And that's what we're all about as we balance the teeter-totter of life. So I love my Bike for Humanity shirt. We will get by. We will survive. We are alive. I am Bike for Humanity. I am the Shakedown Stream. Ooh, down the river. You ever been rafting down the river? Oh my God, you're just thinking you're holding on to those oars, and it's just fantastic. And the time we took Bill Kreutzmann and his family and friends down the Colorado River, all the way from Lee's Ferry at the base of Lake Powell, all the way to the high water mark of Lake Mead, 18 days, 226 miles. It was fantastic. And Kreutzmann was out there in his kayak the whole time. We had the time of our life. It was so much fun that at the end we looked at each other and said, man, that was the greatest. Let's go do it again. And so it took us 2 years to put it back together, because it's a long waiting list and a lot of logistics to get a bunch of people like that to get together for an 18-day trip down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. And that's what this trip is all about. How much work have you guys put in to make this happen? And the spectacular nature of what the Grateful Dead community and family is all about. And big shout out to Rhino and Doran and Mark Pincus and all the people just working so hard to keep the dream alive. And I just look forward to all the new box sets, all the packaging. David, you're just working it in the beautiful selection of all the songs, and then the magnificent packaging there. It's just it's what makes life. It's what makes tomorrow worth fighting for. And that's what is so demoralizing and devastating about COVID-19, which is seemingly indestructible, but we're going to find a way, and we're going to find a way to get by, to survive. We're going to have a whole scene and a whole song on A Touch of Grey. We will get by, we will survive. But that sense of what we can do, and that was the genesis for who we are at Bike for Humanity. That's the genesis for here at Shakedown Stream, because the community, we have to stay together on a constant basis.
Indeed. Bill, we're going to get to the movie in a few minutes. We've also had
let me just say something about the movie here, man, because I was there. I was going to the shows. I didn't know the band when the movie was made. I don't think. I can't remember. What year did the movie come out? 70?
Came out in 77. It was made in 74. And I have a question for you, Bill, pertaining to that. I like to do my basketball research as well as my music research when I talk to you.
You're always the most prepared of anyone I've ever known.
Well, your pro debut with the Portland Trailblazers was October 18th, 1974, the middle night of this run. And then you had a game on the 19th. Then you had a day off and a travel day, and you played Golden State on the 21st. So were you able to come down and come to the last two shows of this run?
I probably was there. I don't remember, but I have no memory. And it was so it was October of
74.
74. Okay.
5 nights.
So I met the band. So I was probably there because I met the band. I started going in 67 as a 15-year-old teenager, but I was so shy. I'm still shy today, very reserved. In those days, I could not speak. I was very self-conscious. I'm a lifelong stutterer. Learning how to speak is my greatest accomplishment. Basketball was the easiest part. Academics was the second easiest. Orthopedic challenges, daunting as can be, 38 operations. But learning how to speak is my greatest accomplishment and your worst nightmare. I didn't learn how to speak until I was 28 years old, which would have been in the early 1980s. But I met the Grateful Dead. I had numerous chances when I was in college because the Grateful Dead came and played at UCLA in the fall every year. Every year that we were there, they came and played in Pauley Pavilion, which was our gym, our arena for our team. And we would practice Monday through Friday. They would come before the season started because our games were Friday and Saturday night. And then on Saturday night, the Grateful Dead would take over Pauley Pavilion. And it was fantastic. And the whole team would go, and we'd have the time of our lives. And the Grateful Dead, they would use our locker rooms as their dressing rooms. And so when we came in Monday morning, it was just fantastic, all the aromas and everything. And then when Coach Wood would come in for pregame and pre-practice inspection and check our hair length and see if we had shaved that day. And he walked in and said, "What does that smell? What does that smell?" I said, "Nothing, Coach. There's nothing going on in here. Just go out and practice right now." But we had the time of our lives, and we just kept going. And so I met them in 1974 up in Oregon and Portland at the Paramount Theater on Broadway when I first became an NBA player, 21 years old. And so for the last 46 years, it has been the driving force in my life and the celebration and the joy. And when I think back to that animation video of what we're going to see tonight and how that tells the story of life and the guy on the big chopper going down through life and Uncle Sam out there dancing, and they got all the classical music, they've got the space and the rhythm and all the different sounds that are the pulse of life at the beginning, and the video game of the universe where all the different planets are colliding and the galaxies are being formed, pretty much the way my background came together here. And so it was a situation where I'm watching this video, and then, like happens in life, like happens in a Grateful Dead song, at a concert, things go wrong. Like happens with COVID-19, and disaster strikes. And our protagonist, our hero, he ends up in the slammer. He's thinking he's lying in the swimming pool, and then he ends up.
No spoilers. A spoiler alert, Bill. You know, we don't want to like give away the
movie's 43 years. 40 years old.
We have 12-year-old deadheads out there watching this.
Oh, okay. So no matter what happens to the audience, okay, no matter what, stay with it for that opening animation video. It is the story of everybody's life, and it is the most wonderful and inspirational and psychologically uplifting spiritual moment that anybody could ever hope for and ask for in life, other than Shakedown Stream, biking for humanity, and feeding America.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's try to get a couple of these questions in, at least.
Well, you're asking anything.
Yeah. Well, we have one to toss to you, and David and I also had questions. I'll ask you this one, Bill. What were your favorite venues to play as a visiting basketball player? And did some of them match up with your favorite venues to see a Dead show?
They were all the same venues, although we never played at Red Rocks. And we didn't play in big outdoor football stadiums. Right. But all the indoor arenas, they're the exact same. And the crew and the staff is the same. The people that run the arenas, they're all the same for every event. So we knew them all, and it was just fantastic. And we knew how to get in and how to get around and where catering was, and it was absolutely spectacular. But in basketball, the best venues are the venues that hold the best teams, because the fans are great everywhere. But the better the team, the more exuberant the fans are. Exactly. And I will say this about the Grateful Dead and how I have changed. Because, Gary, I used to care. I used to care where they played and what they played. And I would lobby the guys for playing in this venue, play that venue, go here, go there, play these songs, please, please, please. And they would just wave me off and say, come on, Bill, this is our show. We know what we're doing out here. Today, all I care about is that they play at all and how they play. So I've gone from what and where to if and how. Mm-hmm. So it's and what we're seeing right now is spectacular. I just am so happy to see. First of all, I'm happy for the success of the band and the community, the fact that we're all still together. Because like with COVID-19, there was so much uncertainty when Jerry died. And what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And it just all played out totally different. But what they've got going right now, oh my gosh, I can't wait. When's the next tour? I saw the bad news about Boulder. Yeah. Wow, that's tough. But no matter what happens, it's all about safety. It's all about health. Because when we're talking about rebuilding the foundation so we can get back to the top of the mountain, without health, we don't have a chance. And so please follow all the rules. Because if you're not following the rules, you're just going to intensify and prolong the problem and keep us from getting back together again.
Indeed.
What was your question again, Gary?
Well, you pretty much answered it. You said all the venues are pretty much the same, but wherever a show was your favorite venue at that moment.
Okay, so as a follow-up, one of the things about the Grateful Dead, and the great artists have this, the Grateful Dead, they have that ability, and they are at the top of the mountain in so many different things, but the Grateful Dead's ability to turn empty space into magic, to where it is nothing, it is dead. One of the things, we're in our studios right now, right? And so I'm in my gym, you're in your studio, Dave's up there. And so, there's no atmosphere, there's no vibe. It's the same thing when you walk into a television studio or you're an empty ballroom, whatever. But when the band sets up and everybody's working and the crew is grinding and they're setting the lights up and the sound system, and then all of a sudden they open the doors and the crowd comes in, and that enthusiasm and that passion and that exhilaration of the celebration is about to begin. And then the Grateful Dead come out on stage and, oh my gosh, they just rock our souls throughout the night. What more could we ask for?
Indeed. David, you want to grab one of your questions that a listener had?
I'm going to take a quick one so we can get a couple of yours, Gary, and another one or two for Bill. I get this question quite a bit, and it's, I guess, largely subjective, and I think we all have our opinions. But what show, this comes from Owen, a young fan, what show would I give someone to turn them on to the Dead? And my first thought is something like 228.69 from the Fillmore West. I don't know if that's going to turn anyone on. I think it's a little bit of a deep dive. I would go with something accessible. There's the word, accessible. And we want something that everyone's going to love. And I'd go with a Cornell, maybe something from the spring of 1990, or even something like the Buffalo show last week, and then ease them into more things like Europe 72. And I mean the bigger jams than Europe 72, the big Dark Stars and other ones, and 3169, 228.69. That's when we get them into that material. I think start with something accessible. Again, we all have our opinions on this, but I think accessible is the way to start, because you can freak them out if you start them with 213.70. Well, you got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
I look at it different. I look at it different because to me, it's all one song. It's all one show. Mm-hmm. And when people ask me what to do, how to get involved, I tell them, call up Mark Pincus, call up Dorn at Rhino, and just order everything. Download it. Get serious. Get everything. Show up at this show every week. Shakedown Stream. Mm-hmm. And then when you got your foundation, when you're ready, when you're in shape, come to a show. Come to a show and come by yourself or with your significant other. Don't come with a big crowd. Come by yourself. Don't expect anything. Just come with good intentions and come in and look around. Mm-hmm. Look around and see how happy everybody is.
Yeah.
See how joyful everybody is. See how accommodating and encouraging and nurturing. And come with an open heart, an open mind, a spirit and soul that reflects the kindness of these incredible people who have from nothing, these guys came and they have built this empire that goes throughout the galaxies. And then at the end of the show, don't be in a rush to leave. Just stand there and watch everybody as they leave, and then just quietly, calmly, and with a level of curiosity, experimentation, and exploration, just keep following your heart, following your mind, following the sound. So that, because one of the great things, I keep saying that, there's an endless list of things about the Grateful Dead that are just fantastic.
Yes.
But one of them is that they just keep going. And the roster has changed. Think of it in terms of sports teams. You follow your sports teams. The rosters on those teams, they change over the generations. And that has happened with the Grateful Dead. The roster has changed. But the
Phil, I've got to break in because we're almost at movie time. I'm really sorry to interrupt.
No, and we can't go. We have to go to the movie.
We got to go to the movie.
Yeah, we got to go. We got about 1 minute to go into the movie.
Okay.
Let me just say something. This movie, for me, is a wonderful encapsulation of the Grateful Dead at a moment in their history. And it's seen through the eyes of Jerry Garcia, who said, I've never been to a Grateful Dead show. I was on stage. And this movie doesn't just show, it's not a sequential concert film. It goes into the lobby and you see the people dancing. It goes into the bar and you see people arguing about the Grateful Dead. It goes into the front where people are looking for miracle tickets because that fascinated Jerry. Every aspect of the scene fascinated him.
It goes this movie, galaxy, because you have to look at the animation at the beginning.
Yes.
The animation, it captures everything and then it goes into detail. It's like a book forward. I love to read.
This movie is a tremendous introduction.
We got to go to the movie. So a couple of things, Bill.
We can't go into overtime on our show here.
No.
It's a hard start. So we got to have you back. We'll have you back in a week or two if you're free.
It's television, and it's a hard start.
Yeah.
Feed America. Let's all feed America. If you're able to, click the blue button on your screen to get to the Grateful Dead movie. Somewhere in the description on your YouTube that you're watching now, there's a button to get you over to the Dead movie. Every Friday at 5 West Coast time, 8 East Coast time. Join us here. Bill's going to come back, and that's for sure. Right. Feed America, please. Anything you can do. Bill, thank you.
Yes, the Dead movie will be on a separate. Dead movie on a separate screen.
We are alive. We are Bike for Humanity. We are Shakedown Stream. Boom!
Look below. It says link to the Grateful Dead movie. Hit that, and we are going to go in about 15 seconds. Thank you so much to Bill Walton. Thank you to you, David. Thank you to our team at Rhino. Enjoy this wonderful, wonderful portrait of the Grateful Dead, and we'll be back with you next week with more surprises.
We are on our way. Sure don't know where we're going for, but we're going to go for it for sure. Shakedown
Thank you,
Stream,
Bill.
here we come right through. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The best.